What's up? I'm Jati Jones, and welcome to another podcast. These podcasts are a collection of conversations that your father should have had with you but never did. Today, we're going to talk about the grass isn't greener on the other side. So, if English is not your first language, we have a saying in English that goes, the grass is greener on the other side, which means a lot of the times in our lives, we look across the fence into other people's lives, and it looks to us as if they have it better than us. They're more successful than us. They're happier than us. And so we're constantly looking over the fence at our neighbor's garden and then thinking, you know what, maybe I should change what I'm doing. Maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I should do what they're doing, and so on. And so today, I would like to address this myth that the grass is greener on the other side, and also explain why the grass is greener on the other side. Now, this conversation has been inspired by something I heard in an audiobook by Grant Cardone. So you can check out Grant Cardone later after this recording. He's a cool guy, a bit crazy. You'll either love him or hate him, but he has a lot of good stuff to say. And he has inspired me to have this conversation with you. So here's what you need to understand when you look at someone else and you see that they're more successful than you, they're happier than you, they're more fulfilled than you, and so on. The reason why the grass is greener on the other side is because that person tended to his garden and did not keep changing directions. He focused and he committed 100% on one thing, and he was not looking over the fence. He was not getting distracted by what anyone else was doing. He was not getting distracted by marketing messages or advertisements or the world telling him he should do this or that. He was clear on what his purpose was and what he needed to accomplish, and then he made a definite decision to stick with it until he brought it to fruition. And so what Grant Cardone said in his book is he said, your neighbor's grass is greener because your neighbor committed. And so if you're someone who hasn't found success in your life yet and you're wondering why, and maybe you're a really hard worker, but here's the key. If you have not been successful yet, it's probably because you keep changing directions. You keep starting things and not finishing things. You keep jumping from one garden to the next, thinking that the next opportunity is going to be better than the opportunity you're having now. And so here's what you need to understand. It's not that you went after the wrong opportunities. It is the fact that you did not stick with one thing long enough for it to come to fruition. I'm going to say that again. The reason why you have not been met with success yet, despite working hard, is because you have not stuck with one thing long enough to allow success to come to fruition. So said in another way, you did not tend your garden long enough for your grass to grow tall and green and beautiful. And so one of the biggest causes of failure is men's inability to commit to one thing. So right now I want to explain the chain reaction, the negative chain reaction that happens when you're not 110% committed to whatever goal you're working towards. Here's what I want you to understand. A battle is won or lost before you step foot on the battlefield. It all starts with your state of mind. So if you're going onto the battlefield and you have the thought, okay, I'm going to try to battle these warriors, but if they're too strong, you know what? I'm just going to turn around and run away. You know, if you're not 100% committed while you're battling, then you are a terrible warrior, because in order to be a great warrior, you have to be 100% committed. You have to be going in there ready to die. The same thing when you have a goal. The reason why so many people fall short on their goals is they say, you know what, I'm gonna try to start this business, but then when it gets hard, what do? They give up. They're like, you know what? This is harder than I thought. Let me go try something else. Maybe there's another business that's easier. So what they don't realize is they were defeated before they started. Before there can be commitment, there needs to be a definite decision to win no matter what. You need to make a definite decision that I'm going to make this happen no matter what. You have to have in your mind, every winner has in his mind before he starts, this is probably going to take a lot longer than I expect. It's going to cost a lot more than I expect. And it's probably going to turn out to be a lot harder and more complicated than I anticipated. And I'm going to keep going anyways. I'm going to make it happen anyways. Those are the winners of the world. There is no quit. There is no option to quit. What determines your failure or success while going after a goal isn't the circumstances that arise after you start going after that goal. What determines your success or failure is your initial attitude, your initial definite decision, your commitment to win no matter what, to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Make no mistake, every successful man you see has that attitude. He has that never quit, never give up, never change directions attitude. If this gets harder, I get harder. I go harder, all right? I don't turn around. I don't quit. Quitting is not an option. What you need to understand is when you go after a goal that is significant, that is big, that is going to stretch you, you are going to be tested. Your faith is going to be tested. Nature is going to test you to see if you are worthy of the goal you are going after. And your mission as a man is to rise to the challenge. The beauty of going after something that is outside of your comfort zone, outside of your present capabilities, is the person you become during the journey towards achieving this goal. That is actually the real prize you get for being successful. It is the man you become when you learn how to commit 100% and not allow anything to sway you. You keep tending your garden. You put your head down. You close your ears to all the other surrounding opportunities. You know what you have to do. You know this is your mission. You know this is your purpose. You know these are the gifts you have to give to the world. And you understand that the grass is not greener on the other side, that the only reason the grass is greener on the other side is because the man stuck to his garden and was not distracted. And so you will do the same thing. You will put your head down. You will work on your garden. You will do whatever you need to do. You will stick with it as long as you need to stick with it. And eventually people are going to start looking at you and thinking, wow, I want his garden. And they're going to think it came to you easy, or that you're somehow more talented, or that you got lucky. But they're not going to know what happened inside of you. They're not going to know that inside, that mindset you had inside, that never die, never quit, never lose focus, commitment to one thing until it has come to pass, come to fruition. So your job as a man is to not allow the outside world, the advertising world, the marketing world, to con you into believing that other opportunities are easier or more lucrative or more suitable for you than the thing that you chose. Now, in another episode, I'll talk about how to choose that one thing. That's beyond the scope of this episode. But we're talking from a context of you followed your heart. You know what you have to do. And so from that point, you close your eyes, you close your ears, and you work. You get to work. You stay committed. You focus. You finish what you start. That's what separates the boys from the men. Everyone can start something, but very few men can finish. To finish something, that's the real challenge. That takes time. That takes character. That is where you will be tested. That is where you will discover what you're really made of. One of the most prevalent problems in today's generation of men is that you grew up with YouTube, you grew up with podcasts, you grew up with Google. And so accidentally, You have come to depend on other people's opinions too much. You have become too dependent on outside gurus. Someone has a fancy video, a fancy website, talks like he's really intelligent, and then you just take his word as gospel. Or he pulls up in a Lamborghini, tells you he's making $200,000 a month. If you only follow his 3-step system, you can be just like him. Stop following these people. Stop falling for these con games. You need to become your own authority. The loudest voice you should hear is the voice of your own heart, the voice of your gut. Follow your gut. Follow your intuition. Follow your heart. Be your own authority. You know your truth. Follow your truth. Listen to your heart. Find out what your passion is, and then focus on it. Commit to it, and dedicate your life to it. The man who allows himself to be victim of outside authority and to be constantly swayed by all these different gurus ends up divided. A divided mind is helpless. A man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. A man who follows a bunch of gurus has a divided mind, and then he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what his purpose is. He cannot hear his own voice because he's too busy listening to the voices of others. So I'm kind of segueing into how to find your purpose and how to follow your heart. And so I will leave that for the next podcast or a soon future podcast. But for now, the message is this: the grass is not greener on the other side. If you keep switching gardens, you will never reach that green, grassy garden. The only reason why the grass is greener on the other side is because the man who was tending that garden committed 100%. He focused, he cut off all other options, and he finished what he started. So, close your mind to outside influences. Once you know what you want to do, commit to doing it, commit to finishing it, commit to doing whatever it takes, and your chances of success will be elevated dramatically. I will share this story from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's a story of a ship of warriors who sailed to a faraway land to go into battle. Once they docked, he ordered his soldiers or his warriors to burn the ships. Then, while the ships were burning, he pointed to the ships and he said, "You see those ships? Those were our only way back home. If you ever want to see your family again, you have to win this war." That's commitment. Leaving yourself no way out, no doors of escape. I will get this done or I will die trying. That's commitment. And I will remind you one final time, if you keep looking around at the neighbor's grass, you will never have that committed attitude. Okay, so you have to stop looking over the fence. Stop looking at what other people are doing. You need to focus on you, on your purpose. You do you, and trust that everything's going to be okay. The magic ingredient isn't the specific opportunity. The magic ingredient is committing for long enough so that your grass may become as green as your neighbor's. Commitment is one of the greatest signs of maturity in a man. So I encourage you to listen to this audio again, share it with your friends, and then really take it seriously. Commit to something now. It will build your character like nothing else. So that's it for today's podcast. Please leave your comments on what you thought, what ideas you had, and any suggestions you may have. What I'm going to ask you to do is a real personal favor. Share my podcast with your friends. I want to spend more time creating valuable content and less time marketing. So the more people share my podcasts, the more time I can spend creating more valuable content.